to my cup. Hey, it's Yay. Hey, it's Yay. Hello, everyone. It's Yay. Back with another episode of Don't Ask What's in My Cup, where you're guaranteed a shot of wisdom and a cup of tea every time. Before we get into today, make sure you're tuning in. Make sure you're subscribing to my YouTube, as well as following me on social media at Sippin' with Yay. That's Sippin' OGYE. Tune in. I see y'all watching without subscribing. You might as well just go ahead and do it. But yeah, before we get into today, the cup of tea of the day is, y'all hear that it's another variant in this COVID thing that's actually giving people that got the shot COVID. I just feel like they should have just said, you know, I don't know what's going on. Like, we don't know how many different variants are going to be. But, you know, this is just a temporary thing. And they should have just said that from jump. But I also didn't get the shot, so I can't really speak too much about the shot. However, y'all just be careful. Take your own precautions, because clearly we out here on our own anyway. So do what you feel like your precautions are. And I'm going to leave it at that. Anywho, moving on to today, I have a special guest. I know y'all wondering who it is. This is actually my best friend's father. And I'm gonna give him a chance to actually introduce himself, so I'm gonna let him do that. But he got a lot of wisdom. He got a lot of things he wanna say, and I got a lot I wanna talk to him about. So I'm gonna just pass it to him. If you can just say your name, where you from, whatever else you want to know, like what else you want to let them know, feel free to do so.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. My name is Kiwanis Jr. L. I'm a Moorish American Muslim, and all title-wise, not really practicing like that. I'm not really religious, but I do adhere to some Islamic principles. Other than that, I'm just a guy that just study a lot, and I have a perspective. You know, I wouldn't say I got the answers to everything, but I know some stuff. We'll see. But I'm here. I'm from Chicago, born and raised all my life. And now I'm not there, but I'm in the South now. It's really hot, so it's cool. I'm just here.
Okay. Well, you touched on one of my first questions already, so I'm just going to start talking about it. So you mentioned a little bit about your identity, but I wanted you to talk a little bit more how you identify and what do you feel like your truth is. You said you wasn't a religious person, but what's your truth? What do you stand by?
Me, I live by 5 principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. 5 principles. My lessons teach me that those are the oldest principles known to man, right? I haven't found anything other than, say, like Mayat that kind of is the basis of some really ancient principles. So, but love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, they fit inside of Mayat as well. So it's all kind of one and the same. I don't really have a belief. I tend to either know what I know and can apply it, or I just feel some type of way about it. But I've been through all religious organizations. I was Catholic. My father was a Catholic. My mother was Baptist. I found part of Islam in the streets. I thought I was a 5%er for a while, and then it came around full circle about 15 years ago. Like I say, about 2009, and I started studying. It kind of called me out, and I started searching for what's called the Moorish American prayer. And searching through the Moorish American prayer, I had 2 questions: who is Drew Ali, and what is a Moorish American? So doing that research, it led me to proclaiming my nationality with the Moorish Science Temple of America, which is an organization that was started by Prophet Noble Drew Ali back in 1913 to teach us, the so-called Black people, that we're not Negro, Black, or colored, or Ethiopian, and now today African Americans, because those are marks that was put upon us during slavery, stuff like that, all that rhetoric. When I say I'm not religious, it's because I don't follow behind scripture. I understand it and I apply things how they work. You know, eat the meat, spit out the bones type of thing. But I don't know. It's just a lot of lies and a lot of hidden things, too much hidden for me. So I just decided to, I do follow behind the lessons that Drew Ali laid down, because it basically touches on everything and tells you that all of those sciences are ours. And so it kind of, if you study the more science, it'll get into all of that, you know, and have you kind of confused. You'd be like, they talk about Jesus and then, but they say Islam, you know, and they rock like Muslims. They saw themselves Muslims, whatever, but they say they love Jesus. But I mean, all Muslims love Jesus. True Muslims love Jesus anyway. So, but they just don't think he was just more than a divine man. You know, he was a man that had gifts. They don't deny his gifts. They just don't believe he was the soul, you know, like he's God by himself. They
I
teach
heard
God,
that
man,
too.
is one.
That there are like many prophets that came. Jesus is just one of the ones that we know. So
absolutely. The way they say it is, they say that all nations are visited by a prophet, because all nations have been through slavery. So you always need somebody to raise you up out of your dead state. So everybody gets a prophet, and then there's just some people get caught up on certain ones and certain belief systems, and then they try to blacken it up to make it feel better, stuff like that. And then being that everything is ours, all religions come from us, at some point you can find yourself in all of it. So that's why it works. That's why it's so many of them, and we're kind of splintered in all of them, because it's all ours. For me, Moorish Science Temple of America, the way it brings it together religiously and historically. It brings a real continuity, you know, to our actual identity. And then Noble Drew Ali actually, I wouldn't say created, but in a sense, he kind of created it, our nationality here in this country. He's established a way for us to have a nation within this nation and be actually lawfully, legally, you know, and he incorporated it as a religious corporation so that they couldn't take it away from us. Right. So, you know, people use it the wrong way, as everything. They take things that you can use it for good or bad. You can find your meaning in it. So you'll see a lot of people online talking about they Moors, and then they get hit upside the head by the police, and then you'll see some that get away. So you get confused, but the real key to it is actually understanding truly what Drew Ali said. You know what I mean? So you want to get into that, we can do that. But, you know, other than that, I'm just I believe in truth. I believe that there's an underlying truth to everything. And if you can get to that, then you can see all of the layers that they've laid on top. So you can, you know, really get an understanding and not just go, oh, well, somebody told me this and things like that. So, you know, so Drew Ali said one thing. He said, man knows naught by being told. So you got to go find out for yourself.
Okay. I feel that. I get that. I think that is a lesson that I've learned as well. Like, I feel like people don't believe it until they like see it. That's just like the type of people we are. Like, we need proof. And a lot of times you can't really talk unless you experienced it. So I do think that it is some truth beyond that and things of that nature too. So I like that.
You know, truth is in the eye of the beholder, really. It's more so we deal with perspectives and opinions more than just truth, right? So if you study philosophy, if you go into like Hermetic philosophy, right? Ancient philosophy, which Hermes is thought, so it all ties back to ancient Egypt and beyond type of thing, right? But in the Hermetic philosophies, in say like the book The Kybalion, in that book it says that all truths are yet half truths, right? So take it from there, then that means that there is a truth, but it's not fully until you investigate it and find out where it comes from, what's the meaning behind it, what's the purpose, agenda, and things like that. Because people use the truth and they enslave the world with the truth is what's going on right now. So
yeah. Okay. Well, I do really vibe with the whole like love being a key, because that's something I really stand for. Like, I think that is like my baseline of my belief. Like, I believe that everything should be done in love, and like that's at the root of everything. And if your intentions are not out of love, then I think that that's something that you need to start to question and think about on your behalf. I'm a little bit less lenient on this right or wrong, black and white, because I do feel like there are gray areas. So I do understand, like, you know, there are some areas that do seem a little. I also was raised Christian Baptist. However, I did study the African culture as well while I was in school, and I also participated in West African dance. So I kind of got a little bit of that experience as well with like different spiritualities. So I'm a little bit more open to my belief, but I know what my foundation is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, God is the foundation of everything. If you understand that, it's not a matter of how you get. Just make sure you get there, right? And make sure you're not getting to what they call the devil, right? But see, the lessons, the way I live my stuff, right? It's like you have two selves, right? First of all, God and man is one. No matter what you call them, what language you call them, you and God are the same thing. Because the nearest place you're gonna find them is in your heart, right? And the only place you can see them is in your heart, right? So it's just one and the same. So if you kind of live like that, then you kind of keep balance spiritually when you just know you're already connected to God. And then when you go and study for yourself, that way you're not living by somebody else's word. You know, decide for yourself what's right and what's not, what you feel, you know. But the way things are today and the way they've been for a long time, especially with the English language, you got to really do a lot of research, because a lot of the words don't mean what they appear to mean, how they're used. We deal with usage more than actual meaning today. And that's how we end up getting hit over the side of the head and, you know, losing our identity and never, you know, feels like we'll never get back on top of it. But the day we all stand up and understand we got an identity outside of what they told us it was, that's the day we come together. Then we'll have the same cause.
And what is that identity? What is that?
Well, it's a nationality. Like now, whatever nationality you figure you have, or that you find that is yours, then that's the key to unity, is having the same goal, right? You take the actual definition of nationality, it just basically says that it's the same people with the same agenda, same goal, right? Like that. People don't even say they're American. Black people don't even say they're American at the least bit, right? And then at the least bit, that's the nationality you can use, if nothing else. But you have to think in national standings and not be afraid of that. Other than that, you're thinking in like groups and so-called communities that you don't have. There's no so-called, it's not really a black community. There's black culture, there's black novelty history, but there's really not a community, because we don't take care of each other no more. We're not on the same page nowhere.
Now that's an interesting point, because I'm a very family-oriented person, but the what I'm seeing is, as the older ages are like dying off and like this new generation is like evolving, it's not a lot of the community part still there. Like there's not a lot of unifying things that we do. Like the church once upon a time was the place that brought you all together. That was a part of the community, but now that's not the case. So like I'm wondering, what do you think is like now? What do you think that community means in the black culture now?
Community means you can get together with and make some money. That's what it means to us. We got caught chasing money, and you don't realize when you chase something, it's always gonna run. So we don't always get it. We get pockets of it. We get people that get it, you know. So then it goes, oh well, they got it, and everybody. So my thing is this: when people come up with ways to get money, to, you know, get unfinancially burdened, they turn around and sell it for astronomical prices, as if they don't want nobody else to come up as well, but yet they say they for the community, you for yourself, and then they, well, get people that think like you. Everybody would think the same if everybody had the same knowledge, same information. If everybody was dealing with the same thing, everybody could eat on the same level. It wouldn't be no big eyes, little U's. We were taught that.
See, and I think a lot of the way that like a lot of people think and try to like beat the system is having that European mentality. Like, money is the white man's power. Like, I don't think that money is really power. I don't really see that as power. But I do feel like a lot of times that's what is associated with power. That's what, and then within our communities, it's like we're competing with each other instead of trying to come together to move forward at a higher level. Like, we're competing here when we need to be jumping up to levels 100 to get to those other people that 2%. Like, that's what we need to be trying to get to, so, not fighting each other.
It's the crab in the barrel syndrome, right? Like, everybody said it, right? Crabs in the barrel. Everybody's pulling each other down. As soon as you get up, somebody pulling you down. But that's not the fight. It's not fighting with each other. We've been fighting with each other forever. The fight is how the hell you get in a barrel and you're a crab. That's the fight. Who put you in the fucking barrel in the first place? If you take the barrel away, there's not a fight. There's enough room for everybody to eat, right? So we got the wrong. We're fighting the wrong thing. We're fighting to succeed in a system that's built for us not to succeed. It's literally built for us to not get shit, right? As a collective, individually, you can eat individually, but collectively, you can't do it. You know what I mean? You get into COINTELPRO and they can't let the Black Messiah come and shit like that when we start unifying.
But I also do, like, I'm starting to stand more in this idea of like team and everybody is a player on the team. But I think everybody wants to be lead, and that's not everybody's role. Somebody gotta be the spokesperson. Somebody gotta be the person that build things. And I think that we just so caught up in trying to be the boss when some of us need to just be skilled at what we do and like come together. Like, you got my downfalls, I got what you got. You struggling. Like, let's come together and grow. And that kind of goes to my next question I wanted to ask you. In light of like the current events that's going on with the government, with health, COVID, all the things that's going on, the Asian culture, all the things that's going on, what do you think is going to happen? Or what do you think, what direction you think we're going in?
Well, COVID is a hoax, first of all. It's a virus that's out there that makes you sick. And if you have weak immune system already, you can die. That's real. Not as bad as they say, but it's very real. Just like the flu. Same shit can happen to you with the flu. So they have another agenda behind COVID. It's a reset of the world. It's a reset still. They're still trying to push. It sounds cliche, but the New World Order, that's a real thing. They're trying to reconstruct the way the world is and bring it under one banking system, under one currency, under one world government. That is an agenda. And they also have an agenda of population control where they need to get rid of I think 2 billion people or some shit like that. Yeah, that's the agenda. You can watch just Google, if you want to use Google, or just research Bill Gates' speeches and he talk about it, how many people they need to get rid of and shit like that. And he said if they do the vaccines good enough, they'll achieve that. So, but I mean, what else is there going on? COVID, they're about to do another lockdown, but this time they're trying to do it on climate, on the weather, right? Like all the floods that's happening, all the extra hot places that was hot, now they raining and cold, shit like that. That's orchestrated because they're trying to figure out the best way to lock us down. But what they're really gonna do is they got to the next ultimate fear. Right? They control everybody with fear. COVID didn't scare everybody enough. They couldn't really prove that it was really that dangerous, right? Even with all of their lockdowns. So what they're moving into, if you start paying attention now, they're moving into the aliens. They're going to tell you that the aliens are real. They're going to start showing you real proof. They're doing it already if you just look at it. But that's the next level, so they can give you the ultimate fear. And that's what's going to bring everybody together to agree to the one world government. But see, the thing is, we can beat the aliens.
You think so?
I don't want to tell you that.
How you think we're gonna beat them?
Why are they always crashing here? Why every time you hear about an alien, they crashed on this motherfucker? Why? That's either a lie or we can beat these motherfuckers. Is one way or the other, right?
I mean, I think Asia might be able to beat them because, you know, they create a lot of tools and stuff.
Yeah, but wait a minute. You gotta understand something. The technology don't come from the human mind. These advances in technology don't come from just our mind. Just the basic human mind. It doesn't come from a smart ass scientist. These are technologies that gotten from interacting with aliens already. There's a bunch of videos out there. I've seen a video of this military.
So we've already encountered aliens, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. The aliens live amongst us. There's a lot of aliens that look like you.
These phones, Siri, Alexa.
That ain't nothing. Yeah.
I can see that.
The more you look in that phone, the more they read your mind.
See, that's why I was just telling my friends that I'm gonna go into like sending my messages by birds because I'm gonna be a caveman when the world ends. I'm gonna be a caveman.
You gotta go back to pages in the old analog phones without the SIM cards and shit.
Ooh, I'm gonna need to learn how to hunt and build a tent.
Yeah, you gotta do all that. You gotta do all that. But I mean, the thing is this: it's never gonna go completely to hell unless the actual Earth, you know, like in the movie 2012, unless the Earth does that shit, you know, then everybody has to move to Africa because that's the only continent that's not gonna ever move, right? So you either have to go over there.
Why do you think Africa? Why Africa wouldn't move out of all the other places?
Well, Africa is the center of the Earth. That's on the main, you know, for lack of direct terms, right? Africa is on the center plate. It sits in the center. All the continents broke off of Africa to go to where they are today. All land masses used to be connected to Africa. So that will never move. That's connected to the core of the Earth. Everything else was just like, so it's kind of like a mushroom top, right? It look like that. So like a mushroom top. So you got Africa sitting on the top of the mushroom. So these corners can break off the top of the mushroom, but the stem will never leave. Stem will never move. So
okay, that makes sense. I see where you're going. Okay. Dang.
I mean, you got things now. I think it's about 50 years or so. They say California and Miami gonna be underwater.
Well, Louisiana almost there.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could believe that.
Yeah.